You're watching Alabama Broadcasters Station of the Year. Coverage you can count on. WAAY 31 Morning News starts now.
We're learning more about an accused triple murderer in Marshall County, the latest developments from the trial, and what Jimmy Spencer tried to avoid. Plus, the federal appeals court is placing a temporary hold on President Biden's student debt relief program. We'll tell you what that order is prohibiting. Plus, more than $500 million is on the line. Hear from an Alabama man who traveled across the state lines for a shot at the jackpot. Good morning and thanks so much for joining us. It is Saturday, October 22nd. I'm Olivia Schuler. Well, before we get to those headlines, we first want to get a check of that weather with WAAY 31 meteorologist Carson Meredith. He's in the Storm Tracker Weather Center. And Carson, we talked about it earlier upstairs, but you said it's going to be a beautiful weekend.
Yeah, Olivia, we won the weather lottery this weekend in North Alabama. This morning, very, very comfortable. That is the view of Decatur on the WAAY 31 Skycam network. Look at those temperatures. Lower 50s in Morgan County, 51 at this 6 o'clock update. Huntsville also at 51, 52 this morning in Athens. Good morning, Muscle Shoals checking in at 51. We've got a few 40s out there, though, like Moulton, where it's 49. A bit cooler in the higher terrain, 41 in Scottsboro and 39 in Fort Payne right now. So a pretty wide range of those temperatures you head out the door, but most of us will do just fine with a light jacket. And the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network is going to stay quiet, not just Saturday, but for your Sunday, and really the next couple of days too. So there's that temperature trend for the next couple of hours. We'll be up to 57 by 9 o'clock this morning. The one thing you will notice throughout the day is clouds continuing to stream in. So it may look a bit gloomy at times today, but we will stay completely dry, and it is going to be a spectacular day for any Saturday fall festivities you might have going on. 78 is your forecast high, staying very warm thanks in part to that nice breeze out of the south around 5 to 10 miles per hour. There's a closer look at your weekend forecast. Some spots by Sunday could be making a run for 80 degrees with more of that mix of sun and clouds, but changes arrive with our next cold front by Tuesday. We'll talk more about that cold front in your weather headlines in a few minutes. Olivia?
All right, Carson, thanks so much. Well, a Colbert County woman convicted of shooting her husband back in 2010 will stay behind bars. The State Board of Pardons and Paroles turned down parole for 39-year-old Brandy Willingham. She has served almost 13 years of her 20-year sentence for manslaughter in Birmingham. She's in the Birmingham Work Release Center. During her trial, Willingham testified the shooting was accidental, but a state medical examiner determined the path of the bullet did not match Willingham's claims. And a Lauderdale County man accused of child sex abuse will not be allowed to travel out of the state. Kelly Crocs asked to travel to donate a kidney to his brother. A judge denied Crocs' request to temporarily move to New Albany, Mississippi. That's about 100 miles from Florence. Crocs is out on bond awaiting his trial, but is ordered not to cross those state lines. Lauderdale County District Attorney Chris Connolly says the state's opposed Crocs' request to move. And we learned an accused triple murderer in Marshall County tried to avoid a trial, but the state did not agree to those conditions. Sources telling WAAY 31 News Jimmy Spencer told prosecutors he would accept a deal, but only if they agreed to a sentence of life in prison without parole, and that he could serve his time in isolation. Day 2 of Spencer's jury trial revealed Spencer was captured on surveillance video back in 2018, driving the car of one of his alleged victims. When he was stopped by officers, Spencer confessed to the killings. His trial will continue Monday at the Marshall County Courthouse. A federal appeals court placing a temporary hold on President Biden's student debt relief program. The order prohibits the White House from canceling loans covered under the new forgiveness policy as the appeals court considers a challenge from 6 Republican-led states. That challenge claims the Biden administration does not have the legal authority to grant broad student loan forgiveness. A district court dismissed this case on Thursday, ruling the states did not have the legal standing to bring that challenge on. And former President Donald Trump officially subpoenaed the January 6th committee on Friday. The move is in an effort to try to get him to sit for a deposition under oath. Jen Sullivan breaks down what this subpoena means for the former 45th president.
In a historic move, former President Donald Trump is officially subpoenaed Friday by the House Select Committee investigating the January 6, 2020 attack on the U.S. Capitol. Earlier this month, the committee voted unanimously to subpoena the former 45th president. arguing he personally orchestrated the plan to overturn the election results.
The states got defrauded.
The subpoena reading, in short, you were at the center of the first and only effort by any U.S. president to overturn an election and obstruct the peaceful transition of power. The subpoena requires Trump to turn in documents pertaining to his communication that day by November 4th and appear for a deposition on or about November 14th. It's unclear, though, whether he will comply.
They really want to damage me so I can no longer go back to work for you.
The move paves the way for a court fight over whether Congress can force a former president to testify.
U.S. law is if you are subpoenaed by Congress, you're expected to come in and speak to us.
There is no Supreme Court ruling on whether Congress can compel a former president to testify to Congress, which is why this could cause a legal battle.
Presidents have been both requested and subpoenaed to appear before Congress in the past, but these circumstances are different because of the historic nature of former President Trump's action.
Jen Sullivan, WAAY 31 News.
And a reminder, Election Day is on November 8th. The last day to register to vote is on Monday. You can either register online or in person at your county registrar's office. You'll need your driver's license and social security number. WAAY 31's Nicole Zedek walks you through the registration process. It can be found on our website. It's waaytv.com. Happening today, today's Powerball jackpot, now the 10th largest in games history. That's according to the Powerball's website. It's coming in at a massive $580 million. TNT and Ardmore expects more people coming in when the jackpot gets this high. One man crossing state lines for lunch and a lottery ticket. It's his usual routine when the Powerball jackpot skyrockets, but he wishes it was more convenient to get a ticket.
I think it would be to benefit the school systems. Well, just more or less the whole economy. There's too many preachers.
Robbins says if he wins, he'd hand the money over to those who need it. A good deed for a want-to-be multimillionaire. You'll have all day to get a ticket. The drawing is not until 9:59 tonight. Well, inflation is raising the cost of just about everything, which could impact your holiday spending and how much you're able to give to those in need. WAAY 31's Nicole Zedek explains the lack of donations DeKalb County Marine Toys for Tots is seeing this holiday season.
Although this trailer is starting to fill up with toys, this is only about a third of the amount of donations that DeKalb County Marine Toys for Tots usually has by this time of year. And they say this year, the need for toys is likely going to be higher than ever before for the holiday season.
We want every child in DeKalb County to wake up on Christmas morning and have something under their tree.
It's the season of giving. But DeKalb County Marine Toys for Tots isn't getting many gifts.
We are seeing a 1/3 drop in donations.
It's not that people don't want to donate, it's just costing more and more to give.
I think that must have something to do with the fact that they have to spend more money on other things like gas and groceries.
For the same reason donations are dwindling, the demand for toys is higher than ever before. Last year, Marine Toys for Tots helped almost 1,500 children in DeKalb County. While applications through DHR are open through October, Coordinator LaRue Hardinger says this year could very well top that.
Due to the economy, we are expecting, now this is just a guesstimate, we are expecting more, at least that many this year.
While donations have been slim, she's confident the people of Sand Mountain will step up and bring Christmas cheer for all the children.
This county has never, one time, even through COVID and everything else, they've never let us down.
In DeKalb County, Nicole Zedek, WAAY 31 News.
And Marine Toys for Tots will be back at the Walmart in Fort Payne collecting donations. They'll be there today from 8 to 5. If you can't make it and still want to donate, we'll have a link on our website. It's waaytv.com.
6:09 on a very comfortable Saturday morning. Let's go to Lake Gunnersville. Just barely starting to see that first light of day on the WAAY 31 Skycam network. We've got those temperatures in the upper 40s to low 50s. A pretty wide range as you head out the door. No fog concerns for the time being. We'll keep a close eye on Jackson and DeKalb counties as we always do this time of morning. The wind is a bit lighter in northeast Alabama too, and that's more conducive for some fog. But so far so good. Of course, if that changes, we'll let you know. Great day for any plans you might have outside. A lot of fall festivities going on, of course. Maybe just think about having lunch or dinner outside. That'll be great too. By noon today, we are already in the lower 70s. We'll call it 72. Your forecast high is 78. That's about 5 degrees above average for late October. And by the time that is, we get towards 6, 7, 8 o'clock tonight, we'll be down into the mid 60s. Maybe a light jacket for any dinner plans you might have this evening. Otherwise, should be just fine. That wind will continue to pick up throughout the morning and stay with us through the afternoon. But the big storyline is the wind is out of the south, and that is a big reason why those temperatures are much, much warmer today. Still could have that breeze, though, around 10, maybe 15 miles per hour all day long. Here's your weather headlines on this Saturday. Great weekend to be outside, and the rest of the month of October is looking pretty warm. I'll take a closer look at that temperature trend for the next 5 days and also dive deeper into the chance for maybe a few stronger storms on Tuesday. All that coming up in your 7-day in a few minutes. Olivia?
All right, Carson, thanks so much. Well, the town of Layton is inviting to honor breast cancer survivors. Where you can attend the event that's happening today, we'll tell you in just a minute. And pediatric hospital beds across the U.S. filling up fast. Health officials now sounding the alarm about respiratory illnesses in children.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching WAAY 31 News with Olivia Schuler. Meteorologist Rob Elvington with a WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
Coming up on GMA, historic action taken by the January 6th Congressional Committee. Former President Trump now formally subpoenaed and also called to testify under oath. More on the details as his legal team reacts. And could this go to the Supreme Court? And millions of borrowers expecting to see student debt relief now facing uncertainty after a federal appeals court halts President Biden's student loan forgiveness. The decision coming weeks before the midterms, what applicants need to know. And a turkey shortage sparking a price surge at supermarkets. The preventative measures being taken as inflation affects costs, how you can save ahead of the holiday. It's all here on GMA.
New this morning, there's growing concern about a surge in children hospitalized. Hospitals in at least 43 states report they're seeing a spike in hospitalizations for pediatric respiratory illness. ABC's Karina Mitchell with the warnings doctors have.
Across the country, hospitals are again feeling the strain, but it's now due to a surge in respiratory illnesses in children.
I'm here to check you over, make sure we can get you feeling better, okay?
Hospital officials tell ABC News they're facing a surge of the flu, RSV, and other common viruses. The age group most impacted, according to the CDC, is kids under 5. Laken Weaver, who lives outside Dallas, says 3 nearby hospitals were full when she tried to get care for her son, who has asthma and was sick with the virus RSV.
I'm panicking, crying. That's a scary feeling. You don't know what's happening in that moment.
After an 80-minute ambulance ride, she got him to Cook Children's Hospital in Fort Worth, Texas, where doctors are treating nearly 300 RSV patients a day.
This has been the highest volume of patients I have ever seen.
Doctors say respiratory illness warning signs include fast or labored breathing, flared nostrils, blue or discolored skin on the face signaling low oxygen, and dehydration, such as dry mouth or a decrease in wet diapers. Adria Mullins took her 4-month-old daughter to the ER when she saw those signs.
It was rapid breathing, and it was her chest sinking in as she took a breath in and her stomach going out.
Doctors add children under 6 months old and kids with pre-existing lung or heart conditions could be more vulnerable. With a tough flu season expected, they stress it's more important than ever to keep kids up to date on their flu and COVID vaccines. Karina Mitchell, ABC News, New York.
If you haven't had the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine yet, your insurance may be picking up the tab in a few weeks. As government contracts wind down, Pfizer's vaccine will be sold for up to $130 per dose. That's the commercial list price, but the company believes most people will not actually have to pay that much out of pocket. An adult flu vaccine typically costs about $20 per dose. Pfizer does point out it offers a patient assistant program, which helps provide the uninsured with access to vaccines. And if Florence Church needs your help giving back to breast cancer patients, Armstead Chapel CME Church is creating goodie bags for patients. It is looking for purses and book bags packed with items like socks, hand sanitizer, and puzzle books. You can donate every Wednesday and Sunday at their Simpson Street location. And the town of Layton is inviting you to honor breast cancer survivors today. The event will start with a walk from downtown to Lehigh Circle. Afterwards, you can enjoy food trucks, games, and giveaways. There will also be a local breast cancer support group on hand. And WAAY 31 is working to bring you important information about breast cancer prevention and treatment this month. We're sharing incredible stories of survival every Thursday this month during WAAY 31 News at 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. Governor Ron DeSantis is awarding $2 million from the Florida Disaster Fund to teachers impacted by Hurricane Ian. The funding will be distributed through local education foundations to the 6 hardest hit counties. Lee County will receive $5,000, Charlotte, Sarasota, and Collier $350,000, and DeSoto and Hardy $225,000. It comes a week after some Florida schools resumed classes.
Weather coverage you can count on with meteorologist Carson Meredith and the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
6:19, and it is a gorgeous start to your Saturday morning. That is the view of the WAAY 31 Skycam network. Sunrise just about to get underway. We've got temperatures, well, kind of a wide range actually this morning. If you're in northeast Alabama, we're in the low 40s, but most of us are on either side of 50. 51, the popular number right now at Huntsville, Muscle Shoals, and Decatur. Smidge cooler than that in Guntersville, where it's 48. But look at this 24-hour temperature change. Obviously, we were just coming off of several mornings with those temperatures in the 20s and 30s. So compared to 24 hours ago, we are about 15 to 20 degrees warmer across all of North Alabama. And this warm trend is going to be staying with us for quite some time. Just the light jacket, that's really all you'll need this morning, and we'll stay quiet on the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network all day long. Plenty of sunshine to go around, but you'll notice some clouds streaming in throughout the day. Some points in the day may look a bit gloomy, nothing to worry about. We'll stay completely dry. High temperatures in the upper 70s, maybe close to 80 in a few hot spots. but more than anything else, we'll wind up closer to that 78-degree mark later on this Saturday. Maybe need to rake some leaves out of the yard the next couple of days. No major concerns this weekend outside of a bit of a breeze today. Could see some of those gusts around 15 miles per hour for your Saturday. That wind lightens up just a bit on Sunday, and we'll stay dry Monday too, but our next rain chance isn't too far behind that. Comes your way Tuesday. Until then, future radar shows those clouds continuing to stream in this afternoon. We'll still see a decent bit of sunshine, though. Just make sure you get outside. Very comfortable, almost feeling like spring later on today. Clouds clear out overnight tonight. When you wake up Sunday morning, temperatures very similar to where they are this morning in the upper 40s to low 50s. Clouds will start to move back in tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow is really a carbon copy of today. Mix of sun and clouds, temperatures in the upper 70s, maybe close to 80 in a few spots. And we will keep that trend going through the early part of next week, peaking around 80 on Monday, 78 on Tuesday. Our average high this time of year is 74, so just a little bit above average for the next few days. And then that cool down arrives Wednesday, and that's thanks to our next cold front that we're really going to keep a close eye on for the next few days in particular. This is our long-term future radar. This is 6 o'clock Tuesday night. It's looking more like a Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening weather maker. Showers and storms start to arrive in the shoals closer to the evening drive on Tuesday, and that front will move through fairly quickly. We do expect a line of storms to develop right along that cold front. Some of those storms could be strong, classic severe weather potential, heavy rain, maybe gusty winds, but the fact that this cold front is moving in later in the evening will help limit the fuel in the atmosphere for any of those strong storms to get going. So overall, the severe weather risk is low, but it's something we'll keep a close eye on. That again for Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night. Otherwise, your 7-day forecast looking sunny and warm, upper 70s to near 80 through Monday, and then we'll cool things down just a bit following that Tuesday night cold front, staying in the low to mid 70s for the remainder of next week. Olivia?
All right, Carson, thanks so much. Well, it is the weekend, and we're going to take a look at some fun events that are going on across the Rocket City. Like Carson's been saying, it's going to be an absolutely great weekend. We'll have all those details coming up. You'll see some classic cars driving around Huntsville this weekend. The Big Chill Car Show is today in front of BJ's Brew House at Bridge Street. You can register your car for $20. You can also listen to some music during the car show. And Center Grove United Methodist Church is hosting a community fall festival today. Starts at 11 on Plummer Road in Huntsville. There will be karaoke, games, a cakewalk, and more. And North Huntsville Library is celebrating Halloween just a little bit early. It's hosting a custom party at 11 o'clock today. There will be some scary stories and songs and holiday crafts. It's free for everyone to enjoy. And you can grab a drink at Toyota Field this weekend. The Trash Pandas are hosting its annual beer and wine festival. Today, tickets are just $75, $10 if you are a designated driver. You will be able to sample more than 100 local beer and wines. Today starts the annual Fine Arts Festival. 70 national and local artists will bring their work to the River City. Aside from the artist market, there will be chalk art, student art exhibits, live music, and more. Our WAAY 31 Storm Tracker will be there. And Survival and Hope, a Shoals suicide attempt survivor, is sharing her story in hopes of inspiring others. She found a nonprofit to honor the late Sheffield police officer, Sergeant Nick Reisner, who saved her life. Here's evening anchor Marie Waxel.
From the day that Nick found me on that bridge, it started out as somewhere that symbolized, me not wanting to go on. It was very negative.
That was December 30th, 2019. And now?
This bridge has become a symbol of hope, a symbol of kind of making it across that hard time in my life. Since my attempt, I graduated high school, I'm in college now, and every day that I cross that bridge, it's kind of like another reminder of like, hey, you're not there anymore, and like you're moving on. You're crossing that bridge every single day.
Emma Gregory is now using her newfound strength to help others through the 15-minute project. A nod to the man who got off work 15 minutes early and found her on the bridge.
The whole purpose of the 15-minute project is to kind of show that, it doesn't take much to make that difference, and that just a short amount of time can be the difference between life and death. After the night that he saved me, we had many, many conversations about, how to keep going and about my purpose in life and things like that.
Emma uses her second chance to empower and encourage others to seek help.
I just kind of want to be that voice that Nick was for me, to help give others that hope that even though they might still be dealing with that they can continue to walk through it, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
That was Marie Waxel reporting. Now, the 15-minute project is hosting a blog party today at 6 p.m. in front of the Sheffield Library. There will be mental health resources on site. The chances of winning tonight's lottery drawing, just a 1 in 2 million. According to the Powerball, we'll tell you the steps to take if you come out a lucky winner.
watching Alabama Broadcasters Station of the Year. Coverage you can count on. WAAY 31 Morning News starts now.
You're waking up to a beautiful fall morning. Sunshine and warm temperatures on tap this weekend all across North Alabama. And President Biden campaigning just 18 days before Election Day. Why he's calling out Republicans. Plus, more than $500 million is on the line. Hear from an Alabama man who traveled across the state line for a shot at the jackpot. Good morning, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Olivia Schuler. Well, before we get to those headlines, we're going to get a check of the weather with WAAY 31 meteorologist Carson Meredith. He's in the Storm Tracker Weather Center. And Carson, I saw something on the screen before on our camera. What was that?
I'm not sure what that was, Olivia. Who knows? You know, we got some bugs that are probably enjoying this weather just as much as we are these days. And who can not complain about this? It's about as good as it gets. That's the view of the Space and Rocket Center right now. Just starting to see that first light of day here just past 6:30. We've got temperatures in the low 50s, and it's going to be in the upper 70s before all is said and done on this Saturday. Across all of North Alabama right now, most of us are in that lower 50s range. 51, the popular number. Decatur, Muscle Shoals also at that mark as well. A little bit cooler in our higher terrain, as it usually is. That's why in Scottsboro it is 41 degrees right now. So just a bit chilly in Sand Mountain, but most of us will just need a light jacket if you're heading out early on this Saturday. And we'll stay nice and quiet on the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network. No rain chance to speak of for the next few days. You see that temperature trend? We're climbing pretty quickly throughout your Saturday. 78, that is your forecast high. Maybe just a little bit warm for late October standards. And we will keep these warm temperatures around heading into next week. A lot of fall festivities going on around North Alabama this weekend. Should be just fine. You'll notice a few more clouds filtering in today and tomorrow, but we'll stay dry. High temperatures hovering near 80 degrees. But by next Tuesday, we have a cold front moving in, and there is the chance for a few stronger storms. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Olivia?
All right, Carson, thanks so much. Well, a plea deal may be in the works for Madison County man facing home repair fraud charges. Newly filed court documents show Johnny Ray Jordan is asking to be made a co-counsel in his case in Morgan County. The request comes as Jordan says he wants to resolve the cases by a plea. Jordan was arrested in July after being accused of taking money for home repairs that were never finished. He remains locked up on a $90,000 bond. And a Colbert County judge denied Brian Martin's request for a hearing seeking the district attorney's recusal. Martin is accused of killing Sheffield Police Sergeant Nick Reisner. Court documents on Martin's request for the recusal aren't available to the public. Martin remains in the Morgan County Jail without bond. He's there on charges for the shooting deaths of Sergeant Reisner and William Mielbach. He pleaded not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. The Powerball hitting a whopping $580 million. It's driving people here in Alabama across state lines despite year after year lottery talks between state lawmakers. The state still doesn't have a lottery. One Alabama native says there's too many preachers. He suspects one day the state will have their own lottery, but not soon enough.
Coming up here, donating Tennessee all this money, and we should keep it in our state.
He says the lottery will help the state's school as well as the state's economic success as a whole. You have plenty of time to score a ticket. The drawing's not until tonight at 9:59. And if you just so happen to win tonight's drawing, there are a few things you need to do to claim your prize. You'll need to have your winning ticket signed and a completed claim form. You also need a form of ID and your social security card. Prizes can either be picked up at the Nashville headquarters and claim center or by mailing in the actual signed ticket with required documents. A federal appeals court placing a temporary hold on President Biden's student debt relief program. The order prohibits the White House from canceling loans covered under the new forgiveness policy as the appeals court considers a challenge from 6 Republican states. That challenge claims that the Biden administration does not have the legal authority to grant broad student loan forgiveness. A district court dismissed the case on Thursday, ruling the states did not have the legal standing to bring the challenge. And President Biden is back on the road. He's highlighting his student loan forgiveness plan, record low unemployment rates, and cutting the federal deficit to $1.4 trillion. The president also calling out Republicans for what he says plans that could jeopardize the progress this administration has made this year.
And the Republicans can criticize my economic record, but look at what I've inherited and what I've done.
Although it's unclear where the president is traveling to next, he's set to head to Florida on November 1st to fundraise for gubernatorial candidate Charlie Crist. Crist is running against Governor Ron DeSantis. And you have until Monday to register to vote in Alabama. If you want to vote absentee, you have until November 3rd to request that mail-in ballot. It should be sent in by an election day on November 8th. Federal health officials say America's pediatric hospital beds are more full than they have been in the last 2 years. More than 4,400 cases of a respiratory virus known as RSV have been detected in children during the first week of October. In some children, RSV can lead to dehydration, breathing trouble, and pneumonia. And you might want to consider getting your COVID-19 booster now instead of waiting. You may soon have to pay for a vaccine from Pfizer. As government contracts end, the vaccine could be sold for as much as $130. Most health experts believe the price could be much lower, with flu vaccines usually costing around $20.
Coming up on 6:39 on a Saturday morning, that is the view of Lake Gunnersville on the WAAY 31 Skycam network. Temperatures kind of all over the place. In our higher terrain, it's in the low 40s. In the shoals, low 50s. Gunnersville in the low 50s. 50 on the dot last check in Marshall County. And your weather on the go with the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker weather app shows a good bit of sunshine and very warm temperatures throughout the day. But you will notice some clouds starting to move in over the next couple of hours. So it may look gloomy at times today. No need to worry, though. We are going to stay dry. Just some of that filtered sunshine, if you will. By lunchtime, our temperature is 72, and your forecast high is 78 degrees. Our average high is around 74, so just a little bit above average today, and that trend will be with us through the rest of this weekend and early next week as well. So we stay completely dry through Monday, but I draw your attention to Tuesday. That's when our next cold front moves through, and it's going to give us a quick dose of showers and a few storms. But some of those storms could be a bit on the strong side. This just came down from the Storm Prediction Center early this morning. You notice for next Tuesday, a level 2 risk has been issued for a few of those stronger storms just to our west across much of Mississippi. Now, we do have the chance to see a couple of strong storms with that front here at home, but our main concern is just going to be some rain. I'll give you a look at that rainfall forecast and is when those temperatures start to cool down again in a few minutes. Olivia?
All right, Carson, thanks so much. Well, although it may be the spookiest time of the year, the scares are year-round at one Huntsville house. We'll tell you about it in this week's Alabama Original.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching WAAY 31 News with the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
New this morning, termination papers were served to one of the first officers to arrive on the scene of the Robb Elementary School massacre in Uvalde, Texas. Texas State Trooper Juan Malando was seen on body camera video just 4 minutes and 51 seconds after the shooter entered the school. They were among a total of 376 law enforcement officers who went to the school, where it took 77 minutes for the gunman to be challenged successfully. 9 students from Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, are recovering after a shooting. It happened Friday morning. Police say the shooting broke out at a fraternity near the campus. This is not the first time the fraternity hosted an event that ended in gunfire. Back in 2018, someone shot and killed LSU basketball player Wade Sims during a fight at the off-campus party. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is now warning a major dam could be Russia's next target. Zelensky says Vladimir Putin has made plans to blow the dam up and blame Ukraine. He says Russian troops have already planted mines near the plant. An attack could flood 80 towns and the city of Kherson. The warning comes as Ukrainian troops continue to take back land in the south.
Until a few weeks ago, this entire area was occupied by Russia. Today, the Ukrainian forces are pushing them ever closer back to their own border.
Meanwhile, the Biden administration says Iranian troops are in crime training. Russian troops, those are being trained in using kamikaze drones. Russia has used them to attack major infrastructure and residential areas. NASA's Curiosity Mars has now been arriving at the special region believed to have formed as Mars' climate was drying. Scientists claim streams and ponds left behind the minerals as the water dried up billions of years ago. If this is true, these minerals often clues as to how and why the red planet's climate changed from being more Earth-like to the frozen desert it is today. The next step, the rover will crush rock samples for scientists to analyze. Twitter stock fell 8% in pre-market trading on Friday before rebounding. Investors brace for some last-minute uncertainty around Elon Musk's Twitter takeover. Musk has 1 week remaining to close the Twitter takeover, or else he faces a rescheduled trial that could result in him being forced to acquire the company. You can watch ballet in Huntsville. The Huntsville Ballet Company began their season last night with a world premiere of the Tumbleweed Suite. It will be their first full season since 2019. If you're interested, you can head to Rock Family Worship Center's Dream Theater. Tickets start at $35. There will also be performances tonight and Sunday. The leaves are turning, the pumpkins are carved. It's time for trick-or-treating. Although it may be the spookiest time of the year, the scares are year-round at one Huntsville house. Here's Luke Hydash with this week's Alabama Original.
The wedding bells ring at Huntsville's Lowry House.
Today we do tours, we have parties, weddings.
The historic venue is filled with Huntsville history.
Everything in the house is original, the floors and all.
Century-old pieces line the walls of the Kildare Street house, all for brides, children on field trips, even tourists to take in and learn from.
If we don't preserve our history, then we just don't know where we've come from.
The history of the home, the authentic pieces hung, the scenery, it's all breathtaking. But sometimes at the Lowry House, you may have more company than just who's on the invite list.
We also have our ghost hunts, I guess you'd say. A young lady was killed here in front of the house.
Stories of people losing things without explanation, rumbling in the pantry when no one's in it, figures appearing in pictures. A day spent at the Lowry House may have you packing your bags by nightfall.
And sometimes things fall around here and you can't find out what it is, and you think you hear things and there's nothing there.
It's rumored Elizabeth Lowry died in the home of natural causes. Another man supposedly hung himself in a tree in the yard after he and his fiancée split up. Not to mention the Civil War era murder in front of the home. Where'd the spirits of these three go? Well, maybe not far.
The theory why they're here because this is their home and they enjoy it.
With an Alabama original in Huntsville, I'm Luke Hydash, WAAY 31 News.
All right, well, paranormal investigators, the Southern Ghost Girls are coming to the Lowry house in a few weeks to see if they can try to track down any of the spirits. To see this and all of Luke's past Alabama originals, head to WAAYTV.com. Just click on the Features tab.
Weather coverage you can count on with meteorologist Carson Meredith and the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
It is 6:49. It is a Saturday morning, and we have another gorgeous start to the day on the way. Temperature-wise, most of us are in the low 50s. 51 in Huntsville, Decatur, and the Shoals. 50 also in Guntersville. But if you're watching us in Scottsboro, Fort Payne, Henniger, Midtown, you're in the low 40s right now, so you might need those heavier jackets in Northeast Alabama. Everybody else can get away with a light jacket if you're heading out early on this Saturday. We'll stay quiet, of course, on the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network. Plenty of sunshine this weekend, a spectacular weekend to be outside, but you will notice some cloud cover moving in throughout the day today, and that will also stay with us through the weekend. It's more of that filtered cloud cover, if you will. We'll still have a good bit of sunshine, and those temperatures will still be quite warm. 78 is your forecast high today. We'll be down to 70 by 6 o'clock this evening. Maybe you're taking a road trip down south, heading to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, taking on Mississippi State tonight at home. Hopefully getting a bounce-back win after that big game in Knoxville last week. Kickoff is at 6. Kickoff temperatures will be in the upper 60s with that cloud cover still around. I do expect to see clearing skies across the state overnight tonight. We'll be down to the low 60s by the fourth quarter at Bryant-Denny for that Tide and Bulldogs matchup this evening. Here we go with future radar and those temperatures. You see those clouds starting to filter in, but again, it'll be that filtered sunshine, if you will. That'll stay with us all day. There you see that clearing overnight tonight. When you wake up on Sunday morning, heading to any early morning church services should be just fine. Keep those light jackets handy, though. Temperatures in the upper 40s. And then that thin cloud cover filters back in tomorrow afternoon. It'll stay with us throughout your Sunday. But even so, look at those high temperatures. Upper 70s for most. Would not be surprised if some spots touched 80 tomorrow afternoon. And we will keep these warm temperatures with us until our next cold front arrives on Tuesday. This cold front I was mentioning a few minutes ago has that chance for a few stronger storms, especially to our west across Mississippi Tuesday afternoon. But you notice on our long-term future radar that we're just starting to see the first showers with this front Tuesday evening as that sun is going down. So we're going to lose that fuel in the atmosphere as this front moves in. That will help limit our severe weather potential. Nonetheless, can't rule out maybe some gusty winds with the strongest storms we see Tuesday night. And this is a quick moving front, so by the time we wake up on Wednesday morning, most of the rain is starting to move out, and we're starting to dry things out, and those cooler temperatures will settle in just a bit. Here's your rainfall forecast. This again, technically for the next 7 days, but more than anything else, this will fall Tuesday night. Higher rainfall totals west of I-65, 1/4 inch for the Quad Cities, Russellville, Moulton. The further east you go, the lighter amounts we expect as those storms continue to weaken. About 1/10 to 1/4 inch of rain is a good bet for the I-65 corridor and Sand Mountain. Looking ahead to the rest of October, early November, our temperature outlook, a lot of orange and a lot of red. That means our temperatures, for the most part, look to stay above average to close out this month. And as you see on the 7-day forecast, that cold front will technically cool us down a little bit, but we'll still be near 70 by next Wednesday and eventually rebound back into the mid-70s for the end of next week. Olivia?
All right, Carson, sounds pretty good. Well, the world's longest timber tower suspension bridge is now open to the public, where you can travel and experience it. Tesla is facing questions over the safety of its autopilot feature. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says an impaired driver was using the autopilot feature when the car hit a motorcyclist, killing the biker. The incident follows 2 other crashes involving Teslas and motorcycles earlier this year. And the world's longest timber tower suspension bridge is now open to the public in Boyne Falls, Michigan. At roughly 1,200 feet long, the Sky Bridge provides more than 1,000 feet of suspended walking surface. The walkable portion of the pedestrian-only bridge is about 5 feet wide.
No, thank you. Let's give you one last check of that 7-day. No way, I could never do that. 78 today, 79 tomorrow. We've got plenty of sunshine on the way, maybe a few clouds, that's it. Near 80 Monday, and then we could have a few storms around Tuesday night. But all in all, a very nice weekend is on the way.
Sounds good. And you beat me to it. I was going to ask you if you would ever do that.
No way.
Good Morning America is next. We'll see you back here in just an hour.